Hey, what is it guys? Welcome back to this games tutorial. Today we do a little bit more of UV. We deal with all the boring stuff, and then next episode we get to actually put some color in there. So guys, without further ado, this is what we're gonna end up with, by the way. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so here we are back in Blender. I am going to select pretty much everything on here by hitting A and A, which basically just selects everything that is attached to your object. Right now I'm in edit mode, and what I'll do is I'll just collapse this window and I'll switch this to the UV window. So we're gonna need to have the good size. Like, this can't be the size of the book, that's way too big. So we'll need to actually gauge it and just try to place everything really efficiently. On the right side over here is all the stuff that is regarding the table. So what I'll do is I'll just take all of that, and here it's attached, which is not really cool. So let's just try to select that again. Move this. Okay, that's better now. And let's just start and try to lay down the base element. So the research table is not really that big. It's at the back of the scene. We don't really see it that well. So everything that is going to be on that is going to be fairly small. Right. So over here, I remember, and if you actually need to just pull another 3D view here, small one, and then press T, then you can actually see what object this is. So if I just select my table, as you can tell, the top part of the table is this. So that is going to be the most apparent part. That is going to be the most viewed part. So I'll just select everything and move it right at the very top left. We're going to start with the top left and just try to gain as much space as you can, so maybe something like that. Right, so that would be the top part. Now all of these, I think they're the sides. I'm just going to double check, make sure. Right click here. As you can tell, they are the size. Then we can actually go back, select the whole thing. And the size, it really don't have to be that big. I'll just be scaling them in X until they reach the same length of it, and then scale them back in Y, because they don't need to be that big. So the next one is this. What is this? I think those are the sides of the book, and yep, those are the sides of the book. So it has to be really small. We're gonna be taking everything here, move it. Might as well just rotate it as well. Why not? And we can scale it down by quite a lot. And just right here is going to be pretty much everything that goes on the research table. So that's the side of the book. Now we can be putting the two faces of the book, so this one and this one. And what I'll do is I'll try to just put them on the same X. Is there a way to actually do that? I think I can scale and then X and then press 0. Okay, something like that. So scale, Y, 0, and they are aligned now. It's a bit of a mess in terms of keybind. We just select all of that, S, Y, 0. Same thing for these two guys, S, Y, 0. I'm getting used to these keybinds now, even though I still think they're pretty weird. Alright, so that would be the book. This one is the book up top, so this is the one that needs to be the most apparent. Let's take it, let's move it right here. And that would be good in terms of sizing. That would be like perfect size. Actually, it could be even smaller than that. So maybe like this would work just fine. Let's take the second book now. This guy. We move it right about there. And we almost have everything we need for the research table. The only thing we're missing right now is the vial. Now the vial, like I said, is going to be like a single color. So let me just choose it. Try to find it in my other scene. Control L. And where is it at? It's... I don't even know where it's at. It's right here, okay. And then if I just select everything else, the vial is going to be right there in the middle. It doesn't have to be like really apparent. Alright, so that's my vial. Can I actually scale it up? I'd like to scale it up just a little bit so we can see it. And I don't think I can, so we'll just leave it here. So when we do our UV, we just make sure that this is almost alpha. Well, it's like a white with alpha on it, something like that. And I think that's it for the, oh, never mind. I'm missing the actual legs. We're gonna be taking all the legs. Let's make sure we don't select the vial as well. We're gonna be taking all the legs and just move them somewhere. I think in the middle right here. Since we have space and we really like saving space, I'll just be putting them here. And remember that this is the legs for the research table. We also have like a compact UVs like that for the legs of the other table, so we might actually just put them right here, and we can change the color a little bit later on. Right. So next element we could be putting, if we just go in order, we start at the research table. Let's go clockwise. So we're gonna be doing the chess. Chess is next. That is not the chess. Definitely not. What is this? I think that's the gem actually. Yeah, that is the gem, so let me just move that gem really fast. Here it is. And that would be the chess. Now to make sure I'm actually just putting the UVs at the good places, what I'll do is I'll just take this and find it. Okay, so that is the front panel of the chess, and the front panel is going to be different from the others. I just decided that out of nowhere. So let me quickly just take it, put it somewhere here, and then we'll take all the other sides panel, and they're all stacked at the same place, which is right here. Double click on A, or double press rather, and we're going to be taking all of these sides, Control L, move them here. Okay, so we know that this is the sides of the chest and also the back of it. We can be putting it right about, say, this size, because it's more accurate with the side. I'm going to be putting it around this size. Since it's not really close to the camera, but it's definitely closer than the research table, so I want to have more space for this. And now this guy is going to be the front panel. The front panel is going to have our logo on it, so let's just make sure it's big enough so everybody can see it. So right here would be the front panel. Side panel, front panel. Now the inside of that chest and the sides. As for the inside of that chest, let's actually, I think that's what I'm looking at right here. Actually, let's actually do the sides first. And they seem to be right around there, so I'll just make sure that they're all there by clicking on them one by one, and they seem to be pretty much all at the same place. Alright, double tap on A, we can actually go ahead and just take this and move them. I'll move them right below the front panel. And we can be putting some kind of yellow goldish color here. That would be the sides. Yeah, that could look good. Save this, let's move on. Now, I'm really compact with my texture. I like to do that. But, you know, if you feel you're gonna have like a lot of space, you can take more space. You don't have to put them as compact as I do. It might like turn out to be really bad for me in the end if we have a really small texture, then it tries to sample in the pixel next to it. That's really not cool. So yeah, so basically just don't be as compact as me. I'm just saying that right now. You've been warned. Cool, let's move on. Next part would be the inside of the chest, which are pretty much all at the same place except the bottom. The bottom hasn't been done, and we don't really want to do it because I said that there's going to be like items in it eventually. So I'll just be taking these guys right here, and we're going to be moving them somewhere below the chest. And they don't really have to be defined. They don't really need to have like great texture on that great space. Here we go. Or I should actually listen to my my own advice and not stick things too close to each other. Alright, so let's go for something that has a little bit more space in between, maybe like that. And I'll also move this just to make sure it doesn't sample from the neighbor. Alright, do we have any other things in the chest? I don't, well, the sides here. We have these sides, and we also have the top part of it. Yeah, we do have the top part, so where it is, it's right here. Going to select, well, pretty much these two pieces. and then we'll move them right there. And we can be putting them right about there. That could be cool. And this has a nice space in the middle just for that. That's like perfect. Everything was planned from the beginning. Nice. So I'm just gonna put like more breathing space in between of them. That's good. Should have done that with the table as well, but it's a little bit too late now. And let's keep going. So the next one would be, if we go in order, that would be the war table itself. So where is our war table? It's right here. And if we just double click, it should be this whole part here. So let's go for the middle piece. And this would be the part with the big texture on it. Not really big, but you know, that would be like the battlefield texture in the middle of the war table. So this needs to take a lot of space, and I feel like it's not really scaled in X enough. That's definitely too much. But let's go for maybe 3 squares at the bottom here. Yep, this could actually work. Alright. So like I said, a lot of space for that, but that's going to be like the big element of the scene. The big texture on the war table. Now we can go ahead and just pick the rest of the table, which are the sides here. Where are my sides at? They're pretty much all here. They're all stacked on this very object here. So B, Control L, and I will be rotating it this way. Why not? Putting it right there. Nice. Next part would be, I think, what are these actually? I'm trying to figure out what these are. Now the bottom of the table is not there, and that's because we haven't unwrapped the thing. And the legs, they're pretty much all scrammed together in this little thing here. So let's double tap A, take this, and move it like over here. That's where we said we'd move it. So the second mess over here, the second really compact mess would be the legs of the war table, while this one is the legs of the research table. Alright, so that's definitely just going to be like a single pixel. And in fact, I'm really scared that this samples on the left or right side, so I'll be moving them right about, say, here for this one. And, oh, I had the other selection. And the war table would be right about there. So just we have some more free space, and we're sure that it doesn't actually sample from the neighbors. Because it did happen at one time. If we just scale down the texture, it might actually do that. So let's not. Alright. I'm still wondering what this is here. Oh, this is actually the poster. Okay, so that's fine. Now, this thing here would be the base, and this would be the, what is it, the ability gem. Now, the next one, if we keep going in order, the clockwise order, would be the poster itself. I'm going to grab the poster and just put it, say, right about there. This one is kind of needs to be big as well, so we can see it from a distance at least. And the sides, however, the sides, they don't have to be as big as they are at the moment. So I'll just be taking these sides, Control L, move them, and I think these are just going to be a single color, so I'll just scale them in X so we gain some space here. And just stick it right there. And it does not really need to have that length either. That's just because, I know, it just looks good in the UV, I guess, and it really tells me what this is. I'm just trying to find an excuse. It could just be like mashed in a single spot like these. Anyway. Let's keep going. The gem over here. The gem over here is, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that just yet, so we'll just leave it, say, right here. That's fine. In the middle. And what about these guys? These guys, they're going to be quite defined for when we zoom in on the tower stats. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. After that, we can actually go ahead and just start making the UVs. I mean the texture. Right, that's the base. Let's take the base, move it about here. Good times. So we pretty much just managed to mash everything together. Now at this time, we are going to just clean up, do a lot of cleanup. That's what we need to do at this point. Right, and don't forget there's also the floor and the wall we need to tackle later on. Now with this done, we can go down there instead of UV and then do a export UV layout, which I think we'll export just here. And I'll just put a underscore UV in front. Export UV layout. And it doesn't seem to give me any more option in that, so I'll actually have a look at what this is. It's under models and then UV hub scene. And this is what we get, which is perfect. I'm just wondering on the size of that. It says it's a 1024 by 1024, so that's going to work for us. Right, and also since we're here, we're going to be taking all the objects we have and just overwriting the previous FBX. Now I think that this might actually affect the movement, not the movement, but the position of our object, which is going to suck, but we'll just redo it really quickly. So let me just find my folder. And I recently just formatted my computer, so I'm having like a weird time just navigating through that. And here we are. Let's actually overwrite this, export FBX, and we are back in Unity now. I think everything's going to be like pretty much messed up, and yep, it is. So what should we do actually? What we should do is just move all of these objects back to the center. So I'll quickly go in 3D view. Alright, so in edit mode, we're going to make sure to select all the object that is part of a single object, so in this case the war table. Then we're going to hit P and separate selection. Let's keep going over here. That's the poster, P, and then by selection, that's the whole thing, selection, and you get the idea, which is do that for every single object. Oh, and be careful not to make this apparent. You don't do a control P, you do just a normal P. And over here the objects are not attached together, so we're going to be selecting at least one face of every object, like this, the book, and then this, the table, the vial, then control L, then P, and we separate that just like this. Same thing for the chest, because there's two pieces in there. And now every single object is separated, and there should be nothing left on the share poster, so I'll just delete it. And what is this? That is the war table. Let's rename our thingy really quickly. So that's the war table. That is the share poster, the real one. It would be the gem or ability if you wish. And that's another share poster. Oh, never mind. I'm going to call this hologram. Research. And finally, chess. Okay, so with all of these objects, we are going to just center them all actually. So set origin, we're going to put that origin to geometry like that, which is not going to work for this guy, I think. Well, we'll find out. So set the origin to that, then I'm going to press N and actually just try setting the position to 0, see what it gives us. And it goes back in the center. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. Set origin to origin of geometry, and then we're going to do Alt J on the keyboard. So it always go back in the center. And here we go, we're almost done here. It seemed that some of them actually kept the good pivot, but some of them lost the actual good pivot, so I'm going to keep doing the origin to geometry, and then alright, we're back in the center. File, export, export as FBX, and overwrite what we had. Now everything is almost back in place. There is just a war table who got messed up a little bit, so we'll fix it manually. Where is the war table? Here it is. And it doesn't seem to have the... Oh, I think it's because it changed name. That might be why. So by changing the name of what we had earlier, it did mess up a few things that we're gonna have to fix. Yeah, there's no longer the script attached to it, and there is no longer the collider. And we lost all our waypoints, so... Alright, that is kind of messed up. But that's something I will be doing offline actually, so I don't have to take you guys through that. Right now I will be just putting the table where it is, where it should be. Just put everything where it should be right now, and then I'm going to be offline fixing pretty much what we've done the last episode. Now, I think that if you kept the same name, it would actually not do that. It would keep the object, because the share poster still has its own thing. It still has the box collider and also the waypoint, but the rest doesn't. So I'm gonna be going offline and actually just go ahead and fix that. Or if it, if it happens to you too and you're stupid like me, then I'll just do one really quickly. It's pretty much the same thing that we've used to do before. So we're creating a new empty game object. So create empty. If I can find it. This would be the war table waypoint. Then, like we did before, we are going to look for the good angle, assuming a portrait view like this, and that would be the good angle like that. And of course, just like your war table waypoint, game object, align with view, pretty much the same thing we've done yesterday, but we do it here. And also don't forget that you have your hub object to put on that. So hub object for the war table, you link the waypoint, and you also link the menu, which is inside of a UI root. Hey, and there we go. And don't forget that the tower stats has a special hub object on it. So the hologram, this guy, actually needs the hub object tower stats, and we need to link the gold text as well. So guys, I'm pretty sorry that I pretty much just negated yesterday's episode, but it's just part of the game. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video or if you learned something, please leave me a like, really appreciate that. And if you have any comment or question, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll just try to answer them as soon as possible. Other than that, please subscribe for more tutorials like these, and I will see you guys in the next episode.